Hello, everybody. My name is Paul McMillan II. I'm a licensed independent insurance agent in the state of Georgia and California. I want to go over some important facts about why life insurance is a major thing that can really help your family. It's a major thing that you can invest in. I got into this field because from ages 7 until a couple of years ago when I lost my grandmother, I seen my father plan 5 funerals. So what I learned from a young age is that funerals can not only be expensive, but they can also be a huge emotional thing. And also there can be huge repercussions of not having the right insurance in place if something were to happen to your family. Now, I'm going to give you a little brief background of my blog website. And as you can see, me and my mother and father have a family business in insurance. Me and my dad were both brokers, so we're licensed in the state of Georgia, as well as I'm licensed in California. He's licensed in Ohio in addition to that. And so my mother's the admin, and I'm glad she's the admin because, she is very, very knowledgeable in a lot of areas. And so together as a business, we're able to educate people on how important it is to invest in insurance because it can help their family all around. And as you can see, I have examples of what benefits that life insurance can actually bring to a family. It can bring peace of mind, happiness, just a lot of things that insurance can do. Now, I'm going to go over just a couple of reasons. I'm going to go over 9 reasons why life insurance is important. And the reason why I love to educate people about life insurance is because a lot of people don't understand how insurance even works. First of all, there are very few agents out there that are really going to spend the time to really educate their clients on how life insurance works, what does it have in there, what features, etc. What type of income that it can bring to their family in the case of death or disability or major illness. Just a lot of things that insurance can do. I'm one of those very few agents that will educate you on how important insurance is. So the first thing we're going to go over is that insurance replaces lost income. Now, unfortunately, death is something that crosses our path. Doesn't matter who we are, what age, where we live. So in addition to that, when a person passes away, their income stops. It's not like a person can work at Starbucks or a major company and that company is going to continue to pay that family that income that the breadwinner was making in the event of death. Unfortunately, a company is not going to do that. They're not going to continue to pay their family that salary each year just because somebody else passed away. So what's going to happen to the household bills? What's going to happen to the mortgage payment? What's going to happen to the kids' college fund? What's going to happen to the cars? What about debt that you're accumulating? All those things are going to pile up regardless of whether your family passes away or not. Those companies are not going to give your family any sympathy financially just because you experience a loss. So life insurance gives your family, life insurance replaces the lost income that your family lost. It gives you tax-free income. You don't have to pay taxes on that check that life insurance gives you. So that's the first reason why life insurance is very important for your family. It replaces lost income as a result of either death or maybe living with a major illness. And I'm going to pinpoint that a little bit more later on in this video. Here's the second thing, burial expenses. Now, majority of Americans don't have no burial coverage, and that's a problem because unfortunately burial expenses and funerals are very expensive. The average funeral could be $9,000 or more, but that's not even counting the final expenses that may come behind that. When a person passes away, they leave debt, medical bills, any other bills that they were responsible for to those loved ones that are left behind. And so if you think about it, if a person even wants to have a proper burial, because sometimes one of the most important things to people is to have an honorable burial for their loved ones. So if you're going to try to have an honorable funeral for your loved one, it's going to cost some money. And that's not even including the final expenses that come behind that. So if you don't have proper burial coverage, that could be a huge financial bill that you or that loved one would be responsible for if that person passes away. So that's the second reason. The third reason, as I kind of mentioned before, is that it pays off debt. Debt, unfortunately, is something that we all have to encounter, whether it's student loan debt, whether it's debt that we had to accumulate because we had to buy a house, or whatever the case may be. Debt is something that we all have to come across. Well, think about this for a second. If your spouse passes away, or if your loved one passes away, all that debt that they're responsible for is going to fall on you. You're going to be responsible for it. So it's good to have some kind of life policy that can actually help you pay off that debt in the event of that death. That way that debt does not fall on you. You have money to take care of that. Now, guys, this is one of the most important reasons why you need to have insurance as well, and that's college funding. Children are a blessing. They are a blessing. Unfortunately, if you pass away, who's going to be responsible to help them get through college? Or, my opinion, to start a business, right? That's important. If that breadwinner passes away and they no longer can provide that income, children may not have a way of surviving in this world. So life insurance will give you tax-free income to help you get your children through college, or, in my personal opinion, to start a business. Here's a reason why I say that. I'm going to show you guys an example. I'm sure you guys have heard of Master P. Now, Master P grew up in a very violent background in New Orleans. His father had a work-related accident and passed away because of that. His grandfather left him a $10,000 burial policy. And guess what? He used that policy to start his record business. Just $10,000. It wasn't like it was $500,000, $25,000, $1 million. $10,000 helped him to start a lucrative business in the record world. And I'm going to go deeper into this a little bit further in this video. But life insurance is the secret to wealth. A lot of the wealthy people that you see in this world that were able to take care of their family and create generations of wealth is because they invested in life insurance. Because life insurance is the only income that your family will receive tax-free. I want you guys to think about that. Next thing, the fifth reason why life insurance is something you want to have is because it builds cash value. We're talking about a whole life product. There's all kinds of different life products, but we'll just talk about the whole life product when it comes to build cash value, because it's the only one that has cash value. Not only does cash value, not only does whole life product provides permanent coverage, but it also gives you cash value to where you can get access to just a small chunk of money, just in case if you run across an emergency. Only for emergencies. That's it. Now, the sixth reason is diversify investments. And like I talked about before, like with Master P, he used that $10,000 to invest in his business. And that's huge because, there are very few investment products out there that will help you to really build a substantial amount of income to invest in something else. Even with a 401k, you get taxed on that. There's very few companies that's going to give you a very good pension plan that you can invest in for later on for retirement, but life insurance will help you to do that. It will also help you with business planning. If you own a business, and this is the seventh reason, if you own a business, it is vital that you have a life coverage because it covers your obligations. So that way, all that hard work that you put into that business does not go to waste. So it helps you to secure that financial bag that you work so hard for in the business. Here's the eighth reason. Estate taxes. Life insurance will help you to pay off any taxes that you, towards your assets, whether you invest in real estate, whether you invest in your business, doesn't matter. Life insurance will help you to pay off those taxes because, again, it's tax-free income. Whenever you have a bag of money that's piled up because of a result of a tragic situation for your family, you're able to do a lot more for your situation than if you don't have that bag of money. here's a ninth reason. Give me a second, guys. Here's a ninth reason. Really, life insurance is actually affordable. A lot of people think that life insurance is extremely expensive. The only time life insurance gets extremely expensive is if you wait until you're too old and when you have major health issues. But if you get life insurance when you're young and healthy, not only can you get more coverage, you can get a cheaper price, but then it's also easier to qualify. What do I mean by that? Well, when a person qualifies for life insurance, they have to qualify. Just because they sign on the dotted line on the application does not mean they're buying. They first have to qualify to see if the company will even take them. Because a company has an MIB report, and it's a database that looks up what medications you're taking, what surgeries you've had, what health issues you have. They have to make sure that you're not too much of a high risk. So the younger you are, the more coverage you can get, the cheaper it is, but the easier it is for you to qualify. So coverage is affordable, but the key to getting affordable coverage is finding the right agent, like myself, not trying to brag, but like myself, that will not only help you get into the best program, but also get the best price for you. Here's the other thing you got to think about too. A lot of people think that they have to get a huge amount of coverage for their family. What I tell my clients is always start getting coverage to what you can afford, because you can always get more coverage later. The important thing is starting somewhere instead of having nothing. When my uncle passed away in New York back in 2013, my grandmother had a $5,000 policy on him. Now, a lot of people think $5,000 is not a lot of coverage, but here's the thing. That $5,000 was able to fly my mother and father from California. We were living in the most expensive nation at the time. That $5,000 policy was able to fly them both from California to New York, was able to fly my grandmother from Cincinnati to New York, and my cousin from Cincinnati to New York. And that was enough to cover that, the burial, and to leave some money behind to take care of what needs to be taken care of. That's the power of being properly prepared with life insurance. Here's the 10th reason why life insurance is important. It creates peace of mind. Very few people in this world, even if you have millions of dollars or a lot of cars, very few people have peace of mind. But life insurance is one of those very few things that can really create a peace of mind for your family, because it can do wonders, and there's a lot of things that it can accomplish. Now, last but not least, the 11th reason, this is probably one of the most vital reasons why you need to get life insurance, and this is living benefits riders. Now, you probably never heard of living benefits. I'm going to explain to you in D format what living benefits are. But before I do that, I'm going to explain to you why it's vital to have it. First reason is because if we end up living long enough, there are people that are living a long time, because for some, to a certain extent, medicine has improved. So not everybody dies from a stroke, not everybody dies from a heart attack, not everybody dies from a major disease. But the problem is that even if a person survives that disease, the medical impact of that disease can be crucial, whether it comes to doctor's visits, having the right doctor, the care of the physician, medication, the surgery in itself, the hospital. It all adds up, not to mention the lost income that you will experience because you can't work because you're sick. So how will a person be able to deal with all that financially? Well, living benefits riders is what gives the policy holder the ability to access the life insurance benefit in the event of a critical, chronic, or terminal illness. It's like a loan. So if a person suffers a heart attack, they're going to have to go through stent surgery. They're going to have to maybe do an ambulance ride. And there may be other bills that health insurance and disability insurance does not cover at all. Well, where else are you going to get the money to pay for that? You can't work because you're sick. That living benefits life insurance cash will be able to help you pay for all of that. Not to mention any leftover debt that you may have as well, or a house payment. So living benefits is something that you definitely need in your life insurance policy. It's mostly in term insurance, but there are a few final expense policies that I have access to that has living benefits as well. So when you really think about these reasons on why life insurance is important, it's all about knowing somebody that can educate you and to get you into the right situation. I also have a video on my blog website, Why Living Benefits is Vital. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you guys. Her name is Natasha McCray. Give you a little background with her. She ended up getting breast cancer, I believe, around maybe her late 30s. She was able to survive that and to keep financially afloat for her and her 18-year-old son because she planned ahead to have living benefits life insurance. And so after you watch this video, you will see why she ended up being an insurance agent and building an insurance business, because she wanted to inspire people about living benefits like it inspired her. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video.
My name is Latasha McRae, and this is my living benefit story. I'm 38 years old. I'm a single mother of an 18-year-old, and I work in the banking industry.
I'm David Sutherland from Jacksonville, Florida, and I'm a living benefit life insurance agent. When I had first met Latasha, 30 years old, single mother with an 8-year-old son.
I am an avid gym goer. I was really in great health. Dave came over one afternoon.
She explained that, what she was trying to accomplish was to protect her 8-year-old son in case something happened.
The idea that I liked the most about the living benefits, it gave me security to let me know that if anything happened to me, my son would still be taken care of.
What we ended up doing was a 30-year term policy for $250,000 with all the benefits included.
So I decided to put the policy in place with Dave. Years had gone by, and I'm just working every day, going to work, not thinking anything of it. And one day I get a phone call from my doctor. And they called to let me know that I was diagnosed with stage 2-3 breast cancer. It was one of the worst calls in my life. I literally thought I was like losing everything that I had always worked for. I had always been in great health. I had all these financial plans set. And just to hear that, it just made me feel like I was losing everything. I went into shock for about 2 days. I didn't eat. I couldn't really sleep. My doctors were basically some of the best doctors that we had, and they put a plan together how we were going to beat cancer. So it began with telling me the financial needs, of course, the surgeries that I would need. The funding itself was astronomical. My job was kind enough to say, well, we'll give you time off, but it will be unpaid. Therefore, I really didn't have any income coming in to take care of my mortgage, to take care of my son. My insurance didn't cover 100% of my chemotherapy, and I couldn't afford it. I had stocks, I had savings, but it was nothing compared to the money that I would need to take care of the chemotherapy.
She happened to call and say, I need to cancel my plan. I have a health crisis, and I've been diagnosed with breast cancer. And I said, well, no, you don't need to cancel your plan to try and save premium. You need to put in a claim.
Through my job, I had great health insurance. I always thought that because I had great health insurance, I was always covered. Chemotherapy wasn't covered 100% with my insurance. So the living benefit really came in and helped me take care of those chemo treatments, my radiation, my surgeries, my biopsies. There's a lot of things associated with cancer that the insurance companies do not cover.
That's what gets people in trouble financially. And that's why you have a plan with living benefits, that you don't have to die to use your plan.
I really didn't have income coming in to put gas in my car, to pay my car note. And I remember speaking with my doctors, and they told me this financial plan was going to cost thousands. One of the first plans that I received was $20,000.
The claims process took two to 3 weeks at the most. And then Latasha called me one day and just said, hey, I just got a check in the mail today for just a little over $65,000. She still has almost $170,000 of remaining benefit that's still existing.
Even though I was still fighting cancer, I still had surgeries I still had to recover from, financially, I didn't have to fight through anything because the living benefits plan was there. I just wanted to make sure that my son didn't feel that his mom was sick. He knew I was sick. You know, it was something that I was living through. I didn't want it to affect him at all. He still had his cable, still had his games. And I know to a lot of people that's not important, but to me, it was important for me to feel like I'm fighting this, not he's fighting this cancer. Through a total of 9 surgeries, and 2 years later, I've been cancer-free, 2 years December, and my life has like taken a total turn for the best.
She's back to living a normal life. And it's just a very rewarding, fulfilling thing to have been a small part of that.
The living benefit plan is something that everybody needs to look into, to spare just a few moments of your time, whether it's $30, $40, $50 a month. This is your future that you're thinking about. A lot of people say, I love my kids. If you love your kids, think about your kids' future. Think about your future with your kids, and think about your kids' future without you. If you're not thinking about all of these things, then you're really not planning for a future at all. And the living benefits plan basically makes sure that your kids are taken care of, you're taken care of, your illness is taken care of. Money isn't everything, but when you're battling cancer, it's a whole lot off of you.
All right, everybody. So, as you can see from that YouTube video, living benefits life insurance creates a great result in events of critical to chronic or terminal illness. Just like with Latasha and many other testimonials out there, planning ahead is always a good idea, a very good idea. So that's all the information that I want to relate to you guys today. Well, what is the next step? That's what you're probably thinking. Well, let's say you have questions, just questions. Well, fill out this form, and I will contact you and give you free information at no cost, just to answer any questions you have. If you feel like that, hey, I need a pre-plan to get something in place, I'll be happy to do that for you, because you owe it to your family and to yourself and to your financial situation to make sure that you have a plan in order. Doesn't matter what reason it is. It's always good to do that, especially if you're young and healthy and you don't have a lot of issues. It would be a whole lot easier for you to qualify versus doing it later. So again, I appreciate you guys checking out my webinar. I hope I gave you guys a lot of insight and as well as answered a lot of questions. You can call me at any time. My number is 770-558-0777. Again, thank you so much for checking out my webinar. I love educating people and helping people, especially in this situation. Seen a lot of my families deal with death and sickness, and a lot of other friends as well. So you owe it to you and your family to make sure that things are in proper place. So again, call me anytime. My number is 770-558-0777. You guys take care. Bye.